3 good days in a row, which honestly makes me a little nervous. Not because I expect to lose on Monday, but because I've seen this pattern before and it usually comes back to hurt me. After 1 or 2 good days in a row, and now for the first time 3, I have a tendency to start feeling a little too confident, almost invincible. That's usually when I begin forcing trades, relaxing my rules, and giving back the progress I've worked so hard to build. This has been one of the best weeks since starting this project, which is exactly why I need to stay on guard. The good news is I have the entire weekend to reflect, reset, and remind myself that none of these scores guarantee anything about Monday. This morning went very well. Once again, I successfully waited the full 30 minutes before entering my first trade, allowing the opening volatility to settle. I stayed within my position size and count rules, avoided options completely, and I traded with what honestly felt like no emotion, other than simply being happy things were going so smoothly. I'm also very aware that discipline is much easier when they're green almost the entire morning. That's an important reminder because not every day will feel this comfortable, no matter how disciplined I try to be. I did lose 5 points for stop loss control after forgetting to place a stop on the second 25 shares of my Netflix position. I was short 50 shares, but only half the position was protected. I caught the mistake almost immediately and corrected it, but the mistake had already been made and it deserves the deduction. I also lost 3 points for single name focus. In addition to trading Apple and Amazon, I traded Netflix after its earnings report created unusual volatility after the open. My first Netflix trade wasn't until 9:26 this morning when it appeared stretched near one of the upper VWAP bands. What I found most interesting though was that I'd never traded Tesla. That's probably one of the first trading days I can remember where I never touched it. Partly because I never saw a setup I really liked, but also because I'd never traded 3 names. I'd already traded 3 names and I didn't want to sacrifice additional points in my single name focus category. 6 months ago, I would have gone all over it. Today, I simply let it go. Finally, I gave myself a 5 for averaging down. While I did add to positions after they initially moved against me, those additional shares were only added after I believed support had been established and wanted to increase my position into what I expected would be a reversal. Fortunately, those trades did work, but they still don't reflect the standard I'm trying to achieve. My first trade came right at 9 this morning and I was completely finished a little over an hour and a half later. This time I didn't stop because I was mentally exhausted or because I had reached my upper $500 daily gain limit. I stopped because the charts were slowing down, my family was upstairs, and after such a great week, I simply wanted to lock in a green day and spend the rest of the morning with them. For that, I earned a 10 in my walk away category. More than anything, I hope I can remember how this week has felt. For the first time in a long time, I don't think I've ever felt this good after a week of trading, not even during the weeks when I made substantially more money. Those bigger gains were exciting, but they usually left me mentally exhausted. Even when my account was growing, I never felt proud of how I traded because deep down I knew many of those profits came from luck, not discipline. This feels completely different. This feels earned. And maybe for the first time, it also feels sustainable. Now comes the challenge. The next test isn't whether I can have another good day. It's whether I can start Monday with the exact same humility and discipline that got me here in the first place. Monday doesn't owe me anything. My only job is to bring the same discipline I brought this week and keep working on my score average. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you all Monday after the close.